welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasyl Chapchenko, former Transportation Minister of the Ukraine. Vasyl, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I heard recently this week Joe Biden had decided to give you some clustered bombs, and I understood that this is just a temporary fix as to keep Ukraine on the defensive side, so to speak. Now, my question is to you, how soon is soon that you think that United States should decide to give F-16s and so forth that they can really get this job over with? The reality is that I understood that it's costing a lot, and I guess the Allied forces want to see results. And to see results, it simply means they have to give the right kind of military artillery to use in this war. What's your input on that?
Thank you for this question, because it's really important for us in current day, because you know that Ukraine forces were ready and started our offensive operation to liberate Ukraine territory. And now we can say that in different places Ukraine forces managed to move ahead more than maybe 10% of distance they were from borderline a few weeks ago. And it appeared that Russia Federation decided at the background our preparing to this war, they decided to strengthen this battle line, and they have built a lot of new fortifications at this line. And now we can see that Ukraine forces initially started the offensive operation, and because of tough mining territory, received many casualties. And these casualties doesn't allow us to move fast, because we had casualties from in Western arm carriers, tanks, and another type of ammunitions. And then Ukraine forces changed their mind and started moving slowly, saving up soldiers' life and ammunitions we have from our friends. And now we better to say our military forces continues storming enemies positions, and to be honest, first evidence from battle line which appeared in our media demonstrated that they blocked or tried to block their positions by concrete, by new ammunition. They concentrated all resources from captured territory to strengthen this line, and now it's really quite difficult to move. And I'd say that there are a lot of challenges for military forces, because we know that this because of outcome of this battle will directly influence for power in Russia Federation. And after their insurgent, if I can call it this way, movement, Russia's power was afraid, and all casualties, if they had it in Ukraine, will immediately influence for central power in Russia Federation. And because of it, they concentrated a lot of draftee which they were gathering without making public, and they are sending them to this battle line. But we can see a lot of witnesses from Russia's prisoners that they don't have morale to move ahead to defend their territory, but Ukraine forces are fighting effectively. We know that according to the Western standards, we must have advantages maybe 3 times in infantry and another type of weapon. But we don't have it. I think we have similar type of a similar number of troops at the battle line, and it allows us to fight because our forces is better drilled and is motivated, has higher level of morale, and we are liberating our fatherland. And because of it, we are moving, but we are moving slowly. For example, main city Russia's wanted to capture. It appeared that now they have got to circle Ukrainian forces and are under Ukraine's artillery control. And they maybe wanted to leave the city, but the city became their main idea. Their main idea in Ukraine was to capture Ukrainians' little regional city. Okay. And they spent there, we know that they spent there more than more than 50,000 soldiers, including mercenary groups, representatives, military forces, Russia Federation, and other Russians military units. Okay. But yes, sorry.
Yes. I want to ask one question because U.S. Congress had its drawbacks about the president issuing cluster bombs to Ukraine, as well as the UN, because of how dangerous they are. They are bombs that basically, when explode, they give bomblets where can even do more damage and so forth. Now, how does Putin see this? Because I think he has his beliefs that if America get involved with certain military weapons, that he sees it as a U.S. invasion to Russia. At this juncture, do you see clustered bombs being a threat to Russia, that Putin may want to do something more crazier, so to speak, like get nuclear ambitions and want to drop nuclear weapons and so forth?
Thank you. It's really important to comment this issue concerning cluster bombs because we know that Russia Federation is using cluster bombs since, better to say, have been using these bombs since their invasion to Ukraine. And since they backed so-called insurgent movement in Ukraine, it was Russia, and they have been fighting against Ukraine forces by cluster bombs. But their cluster bombs has worse quality, and number of bombs which don't explode is about from 30 to 40%. And we know that cluster bombs which is being supplied to Ukraine from United States, thanks every American and United States president has about 1% or about 1% bomb which doesn't work. And I wanted to remind that danger from this bomb is that they can damage civilians, and it can happen after war is ended. And public organization who's issued their opinion about it, Human Rights Watch, demonstrated example from Vietnam War that after 15 years this bomb could explode. But all occupied part of Ukraine is covered by Russia's unexploded cluster bombs. And Ukraine forces will use these bombs only according to the United States officials, we will see at the battle line, because first of all, this ammunition is necessary for Ukraine forces just to compensate lack of boots on the ground, which are storming their positions, and lack of air support, because we know that Russia is being used against Ukraine last generation aircrafts. We have no this type of opportunity, and they copied United States technology, and for half ton and 1.5 ton bombs, they put equipment, and this equipment allows them to launch this bomb from distance from 30 to 40 kilometers. And it means Ukraine's air defense forces has no opportunity to intercept them or to shoot them. And because its danger is exist, and we hope that this type of bomb will help us to eliminate their armed carriers and infantry soldiers and fortifications they have built during this 1.5 year. And I think that Ukraine will use it only at the concentration Russia's troops, and will fix it. And if it's possible to make picture, just to confirm that it isn't used against civilians. And I think that it would allow us to save up Western armed carriers and ammunition we have received from allies and from directly from United States, because all Ukrainians deeply values Western support and support from United States. We know that United States is main country who have supplied us ammunition for billion.
Okay.
And we're really thankful for it.
Okay. One other question I want to ask you. Apparently, Ukraine has been denied access again to join the NATO forces nations. What kind of impact would that have on Ukraine going forward? Do you see this have an adverse situation on Ukraine, the way how they operate in the future? What is in store? They will be solely dependent right now on United Nations assistance. What impact will this have for them in the future?
I'd say that in Ukraine there are different ideas. First of all, we understand that we have our domestic problems, which doesn't allow us to be country with Western type of democracy, because we were building our country, and we are a young country, and we haven't managed to defeat monopolizing and to defeat low effectivity in our economy. And because of it, we know that we must work a lot to correct our domestic problems. And concerning our willing to be member of NATO bloc, we received a good signal and positive idea that we will be member of NATO bloc. And we know that Western society this way invited Ukraine and pointed for our problems and for problems for world society, because we know that if Ukraine is become is member NATO bloc, according to the fifth article, must be involved immediately to combat events in Ukraine. But now we are fighting, and we are asking only for Western support. First of all, it's Western military technologies. We would like to have cutting-edge technologies, and we would like to have aircraft which would allow us to defeat it more effectively and without additional time, and we will help us to save soldiers' life. And its main idea, and we received it. And I saw that in the Western media there were different ideas, but I think that our team in power is young, and they were not involved in deep politician. It's positive because they are fresh, they are effectively and according to my opinion, with new ideas are socializing with Western partners, and sometimes they can make mistake, and
Okay.
they, to be honest, haven't got used to be on the public eye 24/7.
Okay.
And because of it, sometimes, and we just imagine that they are under really serious pressures 1.5 years. And because of it, different ideas can be expressed. But main idea it's what thinks Ukrainians. Ukrainians respect all Western support, really value United States support and our Western partners and all members NATO bloc and members Ramstein meetings. All these countries are our friends.
Yes. I want to ask you this question. Recently, over the past couple of weeks, Russia has stepped up its attacks in a concentrated area in Kyiv. Why that focus was specifically on Kyiv so much?
Now, I'd say that we have had maybe during every night shelling from Russia Federation by drones or cruise missiles. Our air defense systems is now I can say is effective for 95%, but 10% can get to Kyiv region or debris of missiles which is shot at or intercepted by Ukrainian missiles can damage residential houses and can wound or kill Kyivans. Now, according to the Kyiv mayor's opinion, we have about 200 key ones, civilians who were killed as a result of shelling and whose key residents. To be honest, enemy haven't achieved their ideas, and it's only strengthening us, and it's only allow us to concentrate our resources and our focus our opinions how to defend and how to defeat. And another part of Ukraine isn't are not defeated from Russia's missiles like Kyiv, for example, and because of it, we asked our allies if it's possible to provide us additional air defense systems, and we had point of view from Germany that they will promise to supply us additional systems, and it will be American made Patriot system, and it will allow us to strengthen position. I'd say that we are using it extremely effective. I wanted to tell our listeners that Ukraine forces using Patriot systems managed to eliminate 5 targets. It was 3 helicopters and 2 fighters, and it's a record in world history when Ukraine forces managed to shoot 5 group flying targets. And it means that we are effective and we are deeply involved in Western technology, and we are a reliable ally and will be a good partner for NATO bloc countries and for countries who believe to Ukraine. Yes. And to be honest, Ukrainians believe that we are together and we will fight for values, for our common ideas and our common democracy.
Okay. I know the last time we spoke, we have 3 minutes left. The last time we spoke, you were on the verge of deliberating Bakhmut. Were you successful? Were the Ukrainian army successful in deliberating Bakhmut?
I'd say that, for example, according to my friends' opinion who were fighting there are a lot underground spaces. And to hold it and to eliminate the city using really value charges, it's irresponsible. And we are interested to liberate Bakhmut with minimal level of using charges. And now officials, Defense Ministry, Ukraine commented that all roads to Bakhmut and from Bakhmut are closed by Ukrainian artillery. And maybe they will surrender to Ukrainian forces, or they will eliminate, or they will ask us to leave them, maybe because of lack of ammunition, products, or water. But there are a lot of underground spaces, because it's a city which was built at the mines, and because of it, Ukrainian forces surrounded the city and holding roads, and it's our idea, but our idea to liberate all Ukrainians. And it's local battle. It's little city which has maybe 10 kilometers distance, to waste soldiers, Ukraine soldiers' lives, it's irresponsible. And and because of it, I think that Ukrainians military forces behavior, I think it's right way to liberate city and to save soldiers' life and to save Western ammunition we have in our disposal.
Beautiful. Well, Vasyl, it's a pleasure having you on. We come to the last minute of the program. We've been tuning in with each other as to what's going on there on the ground in Ukraine. And to all those who are tuning in on Living in the 21st Century, I want to say to you, have an enjoyable day.